Welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. It's Therese and today I have a fun card using some Waffle Flower Crafts products. This is one of the Big Bear and Bird stamp sets called Stay Cool and I have the matching dies. So I'm going to show you how to make a push tab slider today, which is pretty much like a pull tab slider. But to see the element you're going to need to push it, not to pull it. You'll see what I mean when I put it all together a bit later on. Now I'm using one of the wave die cuts, and this is a piece of blue cardstock that's cut the same size as my card front, and this is going to be where my element is pushed through. So I thought it'd be fun to use this wave, as basically the hole, as the channel. So I want to decorate the front of my panel a little bit, and I have some ink. This is called Daydreaming. It's a really pretty blue. And the stamp set has a matching stamp to the wave. I did think about die cutting some waves and adhering them on, but I don't know. There's too many options, too many things to play with. So I stamped out 3 of the waves because we all know things look good in odd numbers. And now here I'm just creating the hole where the tab is going to come through. And I'm just erasing the line a little bit because I didn't want to make it too dark, and sometimes it's easier to rub them out before you do the cutting. Probably would have made no difference though. And for this portion, I'm just using my metal ruler and a sharp craft knife. I just figured this is going to be the easiest way to do this. So I'm going to leave the front panel now for a little bit and come back to it later on. And I want to stamp out the image that I'm going to be using as my slider. So this is the head of Big Bear, and I thought it'd be fun to having him drinking a little coconut drink with an umbrella. I'm really loving the coconut drink with the umbrella. We all do. It reminds me of holidays and tropical kind of beaches somewhere. So he got a body drawn on with some, it's a multiliner, a Copic multiliner. It's the 0.5, and I'm just working out where the tab's going to be that I have him connected to. I did make sure that the tab is just slightly smaller than the hole that I created on the front panel of my card as well. While I'm stamping, I thought it'd be easier to stamp out some fish, and then I'm going to be doing some Copic colouring. So I've used alcohol marker friendly ink, and I think it was the Tuxedo Black. And I'm really just doing some really simple colouring today. I did want to actually make this bear pink, but for some reason I came back to the browns in the end, and I'm really enjoying using the E40s. They're kind of a real sort of a sandy brown colour. It's like almost like a grey brown colour. I did blend them out a little bit. I have sped this up because I know that you don't want to sit here and watch me colour all day, and it does take me some time to do the colouring. On the bear's face, you can see some weird looking little pencil marks there. That's because I'm going to be stamping some glasses on afterwards, and I didn't want to have to add the white lines to the actual sunglasses. I didn't want to add like the white shiny lines afterwards. I thought it'd be a bit of a cheaty idea to add them, leave the cardstock that's beneath it white, so when I stamp the glasses on, there's already a white background behind them. Initially I did colour the fish and the coconut the same, but I did come along and add some darker colours to the coconut later on. I just didn't like the way they all look the same colour, but I didn't include that. Alright, so now it's time to add the glasses. These are from the same stamp set and they're uber cool, and I've used a nice black bold sort of pigment ink because I'm going to be stamping over the top of everything. And I didn't line it up very well. That's okay. I've got my Copic multi-liner out again, and I'm just actually I'm using the pen to redraw in the nose of the bear. So the person that receives the card's probably never going to know that I've added these features, and I thought it'd be fun to add a little mouth so that he's sipping on that coconut straw as well. To cut my push tab, I have a trimmer that has a little guide wire in it, but you could actually just do it with scissors or whatever you've got. I could then just fussy cut out the rest of the image, and this was really easy. I couldn't use the matching die for this purely because I'd actually adapted the image and the die would have cut his head off, and I mean I could have partially die cut it, but it wasn't really worth it. It's a very easy image to cut. Now I wanted to add some instructions to my pull tab, and the simplest way to do that was to add an arrow, and I've got this little arrow. It's from the monochrome stamp set, and some red, it's the My Pleasure ink, and I'm just going to stamp that on the end of the pull tab. I've got the 1/8 corner chomper, and I have actually just chopped away the corners of that tab as well. Next I want to add some details to the waves here. I was thinking about like stamping it again and white heat embossing it, but I remembered that I had this snow marker pen and I thought I'd add that on, but wasn't really sure I had how much to add, and I didn't add enough, but it was easy enough just to come back and then add a second layer of the ink, and then it would just, when I hit it with the heat tool, it just puffs up. How cool is that? It looks like it's foaming waves on the card front now. I'm going to die cut all of my little fish out using the matching die from the set, and they're actually now ready to go for the front of my card, but I want one of them to sort of be sitting in behind the wave. So I am just using my craft knife to carefully cut away the top of one of the waves, and I'm just making sure, I'm hoping that I'm making sure that it's not going to interfere with my slider as well. So this is going to be my stop for my slider. So I've added some adhesive just to the back where the image is. This piece of cardstock is actually cut wider than the die cut wave, or whatever your hole or your sliding hole is going to be on your card. This piece of cardstock needs to be cut just that bit wider. It's going to stop your image from being pushed too far out. I'll show you what I mean. So when you pull it down and up, by pushing on it, it can't go any further than where you've put that break. The other thing I want to do is actually to stop it moving around. Did you see how it was wiggling? So this is a piece of cardstock. It's cut a little bit wider, and I've just folded it to fit the actual pull tab exactly. I'm adding some adhesive to the back of that, and then I'm just going to attach it around the pull tab. And watch me here, I nearly set it at the wrong end. So I do need to actually have it down lower so that my image can be pulled down. And the adhesive that I've got on there, that's just going to stop it from wriggling around, so that it's going to allow me to make a nice smooth gliding slider. And it won't go, when I'm pulling it down, it's actually going to kind of create a break at the other end too. The image won't be pulled down too far. And the piece that you have that's the break, the one I called the break, make sure that that's the same color as your background, because my background's going to be white, so you're really not going to see it when it's moving back and forth. But if you had a colored background, you would see a piece of white cardstock going up and down. I've added some score tape to the back. I'm making sure to keep well away from the areas that I have the actual image hitting, so and the break as well. And I did actually, once I stuck my little fish in the gap, I did make sure that it was still going to work. I'm popping up a couple of the fish and using some dotted adhesive to attach them so that they kind of look like they're swimming all around the card. And we're nearly there. Okay, It's time for a sentiment, and I'm doing some white heat embossing on some black cardstock. I wanted something that was really going to stand out and pack a little bit of punch. So this is the sentiment out of the same set, and it is Stay Cool, which is exactly the same as the name of the Waffle Flower stamp set. And I just love the way that that white heat embossing looks on the black cardstock. Really makes it pop. And to pop this up on the front of the card, I'm just using some black adhesive foam and making sure again to keep well away from all of my bits and elements, so that my push slider still works. As a final touch, I've just added some clear droplets with some matte medium and try not to bump it around too much until they dry. It doesn't take long to dry, but I don't want to end up with marks like ink, what do you call it, adhesive marks all over it. So that's my finished card for today. How cool is this? I like the drink and the drink just kind of pops up. It does make me smile. Okay, so that's it for my interactive card today. You can find more product info over at the Waffle Flower channel at waffleflower.com. You can also follow us on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook for more creative ideas. There's always heaps to see and lots of fun products over at Waffle Flower Crafts. So head on over there soon and be inspired. Till next time. Bye.